All right, y'all. Bearded Bros Golf Show back at it again for another week. I'm Rod.
And I'm Marcus.
Um, Bobby already in the chat. He said he looks like he had a good Sunday. Got him a little low country boil. I love me a good boil. And then he's in the garage getting some garage time in. So we know what that looks like and sitting down to watch the show. So shout out to Bobby for supporting. I appreciate it very much, man. One thing that I do want to touch on early on in the show that we've been doing this show itself for about a year. I've had the channel for a couple of years, so very pleased with what's going on here. The thing that we've both appreciate about golf is the inclusiveness, the fact that it's hard to find a crappy person around the game of golf. It's just different, right? So just before coming on today, we posted clips throughout the week of different things that are interesting. So one of our clips from last week was a Zach Johnson video, which started picking up some momentum today and getting some good run comments. Because Zach Johnson is very controversial at this point. But I got an interesting comment right before I came upstairs for the show, and I want to pull that comment up here. Hopefully I get the right one here. Here we go. So I'm just pulling on my screen, and it's the very last comment here, and it's a commenter named Sambone702. The real name is like or Tom Smithers. Um, Again, the internet lives forever, so the thing about making snippy comments on the internet is that you can be located, and I'm a petty person. So black dudes need to stick with basketball is the comment. And knowing kind of the support that we've gotten on this channel, I knew somebody would already step in and say something, which of course, this is not how I would hit back, but just, a little light work. Yeah, that worked out for Tiger Woods, right? And then the GTFO. But again, this space has been an appreciation of what we believe the game of golf is, and the people that have come into this channel and supported on a regular basis also personify that. So shout out to all the real ones that tune into us, appreciate what we're putting out there. To the rest of the trolls, kick rocks, because we're going to keep doing our thing. And you might want to question, you know, what it is about you that you have a problem with us, because there's something inside of you that hears us talking about a game of golf in a different way than maybe you'd expect, that you have a problem with. So I just wanted to address that right off the top, in a respectful way. So shout out to those that support us and like what we're doing here. So let's get into
Amen.
the real content. I just wanted to address that right off the top. See, Bobby already says tracked
Amen.
his ass down. Haha. The internet, man, it's easy to find people. So yeah, keep that dumbassery, to yourself. So we were talking about this earlier in the week, how much golf there was, and that doesn't even include the DP World Tour, which hadn't played in like a month at this point. We had two PGA Tour events going on simultaneously, the elevated event as well as a kind of a side event over in Punta Cana, and the
Yeah.
LPGA down in Houston playing its first major of the year at the Chevron Championship. And we also had the Champions Tour going on in my local area of Las Colinas. And, they're going to have a Monday finish, it looks like, as well, or maybe a shortened tournament. I just lost track of that, but a lot of golf going on. Um, let's start off with Nelly, because that one saw a conclusion today.
Yep.
Nelly, you just don't want to see her or Scottie around the leaderboard
Scary.
right now. It's scary. Like
It's
you use
scary,
the
man.
term scary hours, right? And
Seriously.
she was just kind of hanging around days one and two, staying in the tournament, still at the top of the leaderboard, but not really taking a commanding lead. And she put the gas pedal on in the third round and then just really played a steady round of golf today. What do you think about
hmm
what she's doing, man? This is now five tournaments in a row. Let me list off what she's
Yeah,
won so far this year.
she's in a historic category already, but Go ahead, list off what she's winning because she won. So history books with
Yeah,
Nancy Lopez and Annika Sorenstam, the third ever woman ever on the tour since '78 to win 5 straight starts. New LPGA record, 4 straight events in a row. And then she's the last person to do winning the event before a major, then winning the major. So
yeah.
already in a level above probably more than anybody would even want to see. And then plus she's gonna keep going.
Yeah,
She's
we still have
Thanos. She's the lady
we we
Thanos, and it's
we have
inevitable
so
at
much
this point.
season left. So
Right.
much season left to go. So
Eclipsed 11
she's won the
million.
Drive On Championship, the FIR HILLS Seri PAK, the Ford Championship which was an inaugural event this year.
Yep.
The
Hmm.
T-Mobile Match Play, all 4 of those, and then they took a week off, of course, for the Masters, and then now she's added the Chevron Championship, which they moved to
Hmm.
Houston last year. So this is the
Yeah.
second year on this site at the Carlton Woods, and the Woodland. So Marcus already kind of ran it down, man. There's just, you know, when you see her winning, I'm not saying it looks easy. Today, she had a birdie on 18 to kind of give herself a two-stroke lead. It was kind of inevitable at that point. And I think the thing that I see when I watch her and Scottie play is that they don't make the mistakes that bring the field back to them. It's
Right.
the steady hand, quality golf. They're hitting, smart shots, center of greens. They're not taking over ambitious looks at the green that, that require them or put them in positions where they could screw up. And that's the thing that really typifies what she's doing as well as Scottie over on the PGA Tour. What do you think about that when you look at her game? What do you think her strengths are? And that's getting her on this historic run? Because we've known the swing has been
Right.
amazingly beautiful for a long time. But what do you think is separating her right now?
Right. Swing has always been, one of the best aesthetically, then functionally, and then she's already almost 6 foot as a woman with long, lanky, flexible limbs. So, I mean, distance is easy. She doesn't have to swing hard. It's all sequencing for her. I mean, it's technically probably in the game right now, easily top 3. I mean, when we
Yeah,
talk about technical, moves, grip, and everything like that, I mean, she's got it all. We don't we you can't nitpick. You can't nitpick the swing. Um, she might lift up on her left foot a little bit, but who doesn't? Nowadays, everybody's using the ground as ground force and just really trying to get everything out of the ball that they can. And that's what she does
yeah,
better than anybody right now. I think, honestly, when you look at it, she still flag hunts. I feel like any flag on the left side of the hole she's going at because she plays that pure draw. And she can
yeah,
come out of any tunnel you want. She can hit the low, mid, or high draw, and it's nothing to her. And then off the tee,
yeah.
she can move it both ways because I mean, you just hardly see her out of a fairway. She made like one double this week, and everybody's looking around like, what the hell? But
Yeah, and I actually think her driver it's crazy with the shot tracer. She's actually pretty damn straight with the driver. I mean,
right, right. It's a
the
tight
draw is
draw,
maybe a couple of yards, maybe.
easily.
Yeah,
Definitely, man. I mean, you can't nitpick the game right now. It's only positives you can even pick out from Nelly. And then you go through and you look at what she's doing on the range. She goes through her process. Her caddy is on board with the takeaway drill that she always does. Every time you look at a Nelly swing, what does she do? You can't even pull her swing without seeing her do her small little takeaway, making sure it's in the right tunnel. Every time
yeah,
you see her, what is she doing? Barely, just a little bit, and then she goes. That's like her trigger, but it works. And then she plays
yeah.
fast.
Correct. That's another thing, right? Being super confident in your game. I got a chance to catch the kind of featured coverage on Saturday, and they
Hmm.
had Carlotta Saganda, which we've talked about on the show before, and she is playing with gosh, what's her name? Something Alex. I'm forgetting her. I'm blanking on her first name
Oh,
right
Marina.
now. Marina Alex, and you could tell she was getting frustrated with the uh, regripping, the glove
It's
adjustment,
Spain.
just every single shot. And you see somebody like Nelly that's ready to go when her competitors are done swinging the club, because usually she's out there hitting last, but she's
Hidden
not
last.
holding up the group at all. I actually still have her "What's in the Bag" queued up from a couple of weeks ago when we went over that. So let me see if this is still saved in my files.
Yeah. And the thing
Yep.
about and no disrespect to Saganda, but as far as pace goes, she's terrible. But her talent is undeniable. And I think it's just kind of like that situation with Sergio, like we talked about when we talked about it then. It's the same thing. It's the same little niche. The grip and regrip, the grip and regrip. Like if that's gonna be your trigger, maybe one or two, and then you just go at
Right.
it, but you're sitting over the ball. And when the LPGA officials clock your time, it's from the time that you're over the ball or that it's your turn to play. So it's not even like
Yeah.
you have an excuse that, oh, I was rushed into it, because Saganda's not short. She's hit middle of the field slash long. So you got plenty of
Yeah.
time to work yardage. You got plenty of time to work what your target is and where you want to start it. You're not in anybody's way if you're looking down the field, looking down the fairway, trying to figure out where you're going with your target and everything like that. So again,
Yeah.
this is all personal. So as good as she is, this is something mental or a block or something that she needs to work out on her own. But right now, it's despicable. It really is. Like
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
want to have
Waiting
an
until
official on her
everybody's
all the time.
done,
Yeah, it's disgusting,
waiting
bro.
until people are already hit to then work out all those things, like finish the yardage calcs to go through, where to start the ball off. It's to me as a golfer, it's disrespectful to your fellow competitors,
Right.
especially when you're playing in a threesome. Get ready to go. And especially in the group that she was playing with on Saturday, she was definitely the longest out of the group. She was
Yeah.
actually playing pretty well. She hit, I want to say she was 8 for 8 on like greens and regulations, green and then fairways hit
Hmm.
through as much as I could stand to watch of her, and then I kind of moved on to another group. But
Yeah.
she was playing well, so she was usually teeing it off first in that group, and it was just a slog the entire time. But it just kind of also shows why Nelly's as awesome as she really is right now. As you can see, it said drivers 252.
These are all
The
carry yardages,
LPG
by the way, friends.
all carry. So you're probably going to get 20 yards of roll after that. She's probably in the mid 270s in terms of her, you know, her driving distance, which is gonna lead. I'm gonna pull up the LPGA website as well right now because their stats are kind of Um, but she's just, I don't know. I don't think there's a weak part of her game. She makes putts when hits it
She
close.
chipped the close. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I can't.
Uh,
You could try to nitpick her game, but it's just no bueno.
yeah.
Um,
She doesn't even duck hook it enough to be like, oh yeah, she has the hooks. I mean, maybe once every 72 holes, she has a duck hook. Maybe twice. Like it it's
the
unreal,
crazy thing
man.
is how I'm going to switch to this one, to the tab. So let's jump in. See if this came up. No, it did not. Present. Let's stop this one. I'm going to pull up her stats from the LPGA website. There we go. So of course she's number one on the money list this year.
You know,
The
over
season
2 million
standings.
now.
Green.
First
Yeah,
earliest in the season to 2 million ever in the history of the
yeah,
LPGA,
yeah. Just
by the
setting
way.
records left and right.
Right.
No, you're good. Greens and regulations. That's, I mean, where it counts, right? She's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Scoring average, number one.
Yep.
Eagles, number one. Not that, they're not going for it like the gentlemen are, but it speaks to her distance and her ability to get close to holes. Let's see here. Let's go back so I can scroll. This is just some other incidental stuff. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see. Driving accuracy. She's 61st. That's 74%. But with the women, that's such a skewed number. I mean,
Yeah,
they
they're still
they're
laying up. They're
technically
still
sound.
using. They're still using three wood, just like. I mean, it's the same thing that to me personally, it's the same thing that happened with Tiger. Tiger wasn't ever the leader of the yardage in distance, but that's because he didn't have to. He could hit three
Yep.
wood and hit irons off the tee and hit the little stinger and still be in perfect ways so that he could use his irons because he's the best iron player. Right now,
Yep.
Nelly is right up there with the best iron players, and she swings a 4 iron and a 5 iron. So it's not like she's not using long irons too. She doesn't. She only has the hybrid and the three wood, and then the driver. It's not like she's sitting here going six hybrid all the way up to that.
No,
So you
no,
know,
she's a ball striker.
weakest.
I
I
mean,
mean, still under 30 putts, and
yeah,
still, I mean, sand saves. But when is she ever in the sand? I
she's
mean,
she's not in the sand.
that's
She's
what I'm
not in the
saying.
sand. And again, I'm saying that's 70, almost 75% driving accuracy. So you're telling me that if you, for every three out of every four drives that you took, you'd end up in the fairway, you'd accept that. Pro, amateur, whatever.
Any
I bet
level,
the
you don't.
highest I bet the highest driving accuracy in the LPGA has got to be in the 80s easily,
Gotta be.
right? Which
Hmm.
is
81, 82%,
ungodly.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of nuts. So awesome stuff from Nelly Korda. And it's, again, we're one major into five. The ladies have five majors each year. So we're just getting started. And the crazy thing is, she doesn't play every week. She's not out there just kind of teeing it up every single week. They don't have the
Right.
same situation as the gents with the elevated events. So I don't know. Again, you're at a disadvantage if you're stepping out against Nelly Korda at this point. It's going to be, I can't see her falling off, right? We're going to
Right.
see at least two more wins. I think that's easy to say, right? There may not be
Yeah.
more majors because they're majors for a reason, but the clip that she's on right now, it's and the way that she's playing, these are not flukes. These are really
Yeah.
solid, technically, just mentally, you can just see she's having fun out there. Low pressure, just playing her game, swinging her swing. The one thing that I did want to mention is that Lilia Vu dropped out of the tournament, did not make it. I think she ended up having to withdraw on the
Hmm.
range on day one. So she did not get to defend her title. Seems that she's having an ongoing back issue.
Mm.
I've said it. I've said it. I know you've kind of cautioned me against saying it. I generally am concerned about Lily Avu's health and shape and her ability to have longevity. It's no doubt that she has the talent but she's got to work on her fitness. Back
Yeah.
issues, you know, that's tough, to just come back from, to rehab from. It seems like you to end up having to have surgery, injections, things like that to just kind of get through. So for someone as young as she is and as early in her career as she is, that's a bit concerning. Given that potential that we saw from her last year. But
Very
just wanted
true.
to make a note about that one. So
Very true.
um
It's
let's
interesting you
jump
brought
over
her
to
name up though, in the
no, go ahead.
real quick. Interesting you
Absolutely.
brought up her name because remember last year when we were talking about the run she could go on with and something that she could do, and now Nelly's going on that run. I mean, seriously,
Yep.
like we're talking, this is historic stuff that we thought Lilia Vu could get it done with, but now it's Nelly, and I think it's crazy even to mention because remember Nelly Korda spent half a season out because she had an issue with her arm, like with blood clots. Remember that?
Yeah.
That
Yep.
was that was 2021, and then she came back and won the PGA that year. Like that's insanity to me. We're not too far
Yeah.
from removed from that.
Yeah, exactly. But it shows her bounce back. She's young. She's 25, which,
Wow.
I'm hope. Here's my hope, right? We know her sister. She posted a clip, posted it on her Instagram, Jessica Korda, with her and her newborn in her lap, watching this go get it.
Hmm.
I'm hoping that no one's trying to get at Nelly. I mean, or she's knocking all the suitors down. I know she's got people trying to sneak into her DMs. I'm hoping that she, stays focused on her game and that we see just greatness out of her for a long time. We've seen other greats in the past, start families. Lorena Ochoa,
Yeah.
Annika Sorenstam. I get it. The call of
Yeah.
family and the biological clock keeps ticking on, and you want to do something about it. But I'm hoping that her window has started early enough where we get to
Right.
see 10 solid years of this dominance from her. I think also got a chance to watch Lydia Ko kind of playing ahead of, or I think the group behind Saganda yesterday as well. So Lydia Ko, I mean, we saw greatness from her early on in her career, and she's made a resurgence in the last couple of years. So
Oh yeah.
I think we're right now in the most competitive time that we've seen in women's golf that
Easily.
I don't think there's been a better time where you've had this depth of field, available to us. And that doesn't even include greats like Minji Lee, who's not playing great right now. Um,
Right.
it's
Struggling
kind of nuts.
almost.
She missed the cut. There's a lot of names out there that could pop up at any point in time. So what we're seeing from Nelly is just outstanding.
Nelly is good
Um,
enough to make us forget some names. That's crazy.
it is. I know. Um, Other end of the spectrum, Scottie mentioned him. Even though they still have a couple of holes left to play in the RBC Heritage, he's up by 6 at this point. They had a
Uh,
restart, a weather delay of like 3 hours. He's
yeah.
at 20 under right now, and I think the next closest guy is at 14. We don't see Scotty blow up. That's pretty much a done deal at this point.
Yeah. He had a
So
I mean, last hole he played, he made a miracle par on that. He had one mistake, and you couldn't even really call it a mistake because as soon as he hit it, he said mud ball. So really something he couldn't even control. So he's on a
yeah,
par five. It's the par five 14th or 15th or whatever that hole is. So he's laying up short. He's got a 4 iron in his hand. And he just hit that little bunt draw out there, just a little low one. And then he says immediately, he's like, "Oh, it's a mud ball." And then it goes into the water, but it's a lateral
yeah,
hazard. So he drops, even with it, gets up and down, makes, I mean, you see the putt on TV. And I mean, I'll be damned if it didn't. It looked in the whole time, Rod. I mean, just another Scotty moment.
you just
I
knew.
mean,
Yeah,
you just knew it was like 15 to 20 feet. It wasn't even like a 5 or 6 footer or something like that. It was a decent amount. And I mean, he hit it and he fist pumped as soon as it went in. He knew how important that was because you don't want to
yeah,
go out on a bogey right as they're blowing the horn and you wake up and you got to sit with that. Nah. So for
yeah,
him to go out
yeah.
with that nice little par save up and down, it's scary hours for them too because what more? I mean, you don't want to see Scotty in the lead.
No, you don't. Not with, and I correct myself. He's got a 5 stroke lead.
Yeah,
Wyndham
JT
Clark's
Poston or
in the
something.
Yeah, Wyndham Clark's in the house at 15 under.
Yeah.
Cantlay 17 is completed, as well as JT Poston. They're both at 15 under.
Mm,
Sahith Thigala is at 15 under. He's on 15, so he's got a
okay.
few holes. Scotty's got to blow up, and he's got to get incredibly hot.
Yeah,
That's really
true.
it, man. Everybody else, Ibear's at 14. Pat
Seb
Rogers also
Straka
at
fell off.
14. Yep. And that's the thing that's incredible about, both of these players, both Nelly and Scotty, is the consistency. Is that
Very
that
true.
they're not going to just have crazy blow up holes and let you back in the tournament. So when he gets a lead of this stretch, it's kind of nuts, man. It just really
Yeah.
is. And you just know that there's no coming back. He's not
Right.
going to put it in the water on 18. It's a pretty, hit a decent drive with a 3 wood, 5 wood, something less than driver.
Yeah.
He's going in with some short iron. He's going to put it in the middle of the green. The par three, I think, 17th comes before that.
Yeah. 17 is a tough
It's
par
over.
three, and then that par four. Yeah, it's
It,
over.
but
It's
it's
over.
over. So, okay, for
Yeah.
him, let's go through his stuff, right? So, he's won 4 out of 5, or this will be 4 out of 5. So we've
Yeah.
got the Arnold Palmer, the
Elevated
players,
event.
um,
Elevated event.
elevated event, had a chance to win the Houston Open. Like, had a makeable putt to get into a playoff.
Right. You know,
Ended up seeding that one.
somebody said that he missed that on purpose to make everybody else feel better. And I was like, y'all don't know Scotty.
What?
Scotty ain't missed that shit on purpose.
No,
Scotty ain't
bro.
missed that on purpose. A little left or righter
I'm
from
not.
5 feet.
I'm
Nah.
not giving up $500,000 to make somebody else feel good.
Right
Sorry,
down the
I'm
road
not
from the
doing it.
crib. I'm 3 hours away from Dallas. The folks was in town.
Yeah,
Nah, not on purpose. Not
I
on
can't
purpose,
believe
my
that
boy.
one.
Mm-mm.
No, not that one. Yeah, miss me
No.
with that. And yeah. So and then he won, of course, the Masters, right? So a week out, you thought he was maybe going to have a letdown after the emotional win. The man kind of just hung around, top
Yep.
15, top 10, started, closing the gap. And yeah, man, uh, he does what he does. The man
He
just
shot a
hits
63 with a
irons.
bogey on Friday.
No, the man hits irons. It's just majestic. There's no
Truly.
other way. You sent me that clip on that par five where he hits that wood over those trees, and the,
Mm,
the ball flight is just it's nuts because it's both high and piercing at the same time. It's almost like when Rory hits it's high and it's floaty, right?
yeah.
It crests really high, but something about Scottie, he's different, man. He's built different, and I think we're in the midst of greatness. I think we saw an interview with Tigala talking about it's just enjoy when you got dudes telling you it's enjoyable to watch your game, you're doing
Yeah.
something. When they're
For
seeing
real.
it, when the best of the best is impressed with what you're doing, it's a whole nother level, man.
I mean, I there's no words for it, and I don't mean to. And like, this is no diminishment to Scotty, but you see the importance of a good caddy too, though, right? I mean, just
Yeah,
think about it. Just think about it. Teddy be putting my boy into place. Ain't, ain't
he
no
does.
ain't no course management mess ups. Ain't no mishaps as far as where we're going and what yardage we need. They don't mess up, and they're on. They're so on. Like, they're so in sync, and it's
Yeah,
crazy because
the vibe is
they have a
nuts.
fun. Yeah, they have a fun time, and they have a bet about holeouts and stuff like that. So they keep it fun and they keep it friendly and things like that. So I
Yeah,
definitely think he was the right one for him.
I got to watch and follow him for a few holes last year at the Byron Nelson here
Yeah,
locally for me, and just listening to them interact and sitting next to a hole where they're just looks like they're having some fun. It's really enjoyable to just see them chop it up. You can just tell that they're good buddies, right? It doesn't have
yeah,
that tense vibe between player and caddy where the player feels like the boss and they're never accountable for their mistakes. It's the complete opposite of that relationship,
absolutely,
which is what I like to see. Honestly. So um yeah, man.
definitely.
Again, another run that I don't think we're going to see greatness, and you look at it and you're like, okay, the three remaining majors, can he's going to be the betting favorite in every one of them. Can he
Yeah,
pull out another one? Can he get two in the same year? The situation that kind of threw me off to going into the show, I wanted to clip that whole comparison of the run that Tiger won on in 2000 and the comparison of money. We'll have to save that for another week and then kind of compare, um, you know,
Yeah, the money
how
is
Scotty's
egregious.
doing. It is egregious, but I mean, Scotty's got a chance. Honestly, um, he's gonna get close to easily capping 75 mil this year. It's weird. I want to say he's gonna take in another three this week, and he's already at what was it last week? 12.
Yeah,
So
something insane.
75 is it's nuts, but maybe 50 easy.
Yeah, I
Let's see
think
here.
so. That's an
Andy says
insane stat, Andy.
Scotty's caddy has made more money this year than number 2 on the tour money list. Man, Ted Scott's living the dream, bro.
Living.
Hey,
He's won
I'm
something
no
like
religious
1 million
person.
in the last 3 weeks or something.
I
It's
know, I know. I'm
obscene.
no religious person, but hey, if the faith is working out for both of them like that, believe what you believe, my boy.
Oh.
Something's karma, God, Buddha, whatever you they're doing it right, and they're getting dividends paid. That is a nut stat though.
That is a crazy
Shout out
stat.
Ted Scott padding that retirement fund like crazy. See what you messed up, Bubba Watson? You had a chance, man. You had a
Right.
chance.
You see who's still winning and you see who's not winning now?
Ugh, it's like that Tom Brady, Bill Belichick situation going on there. Who
And
was
I think
driving the bus?
who was driving the bus. And I also think it's crazy to mention both lefties are out on that LIV tour. I think they getting their playing privileges about to get stripped. I think they about to just be sitting captains. That's what
Oh
word on the
no.
streets is through these articles.
Oh
But
no.
you know, you never can tell how true each of these things are because they don't
Yeah.
have a lot of
It's
attention over there. But that's word on the streets. Word on the
we'll
streets.
we'll have to come back to that one. So one next story, the game of golf getting younger and younger, right? So we got Nelly
Yes.
at 25 tearing up the LPGA. We got Scottie at 27 dominating these boys, and we have young Miles Russell, 15 years old,
God bless,
playing
bro.
playing out on the Corn Ferry Tour this week. His first professional start. At this tournament, it's the Lacombe Sun Classic, which had a lot of controversy last year behind some shuttle rides that players got. But this year,
Right.
he was out there, made the cut by 3 strokes.
Comfortably.
Shot under par, and actually was challenging and in 4th place today at a certain point. But the maturity on this kid and him understanding kind of where the game's going, and also it felt good. He justified something that we've been saying is that he joked about, hey, I'm 15 and I've set the record that someone else might come break it real soon. So I have a video queued up from this kid. You can get a feel for his maturity and how he rolls. You can just tell he's got an incredible head on his shoulders, and he's going to do well. He's been homeschooled, I think, since 8th grade, and has been on this path. So he's a pure talent. But again, he's not some, just dull kid who doesn't have a personality. So check this video out from him.
That you became the youngest player to make a cut in a Corn Ferry Tour event. What does that mean to you?
Oh, that's a pretty cool. I did not know that. So that's a cool one to have. I'm kind of speechless. I mean, the goal was to make the cut, and we made it. So we'll see where the weekend goes. But it's just, it's a cool record to break, and I don't know how much longer. I mean, people are getting so good, so young. So, it could hold out for a week. So you never know. But it's pretty cool right now.
Is this your first pro event?
It is. Yeah.
First
Yep.
pro event, first made cut?
Yeah, we're 1-for-1. Yeah, I
One
think
for
a
one.
big goal would be top 25. I mean, to get into next week would be really cool, and I don't know. So that's definitely the top goal, and maybe something comes more of that, but we'll see.
Just
Good
loved
head on
hearing
the
that kid
shoulder.
talk, man. Yeah, 100%. And then I think he ended up, last time I checked, the tournament was running a little bit late, but he was top 20 after his run. He went on, ended up bogeying the last hole of the day. But Yeah, man. These kids just coming out different, man.
We're in a
They
different
are built
generation
different.
now, for sure, bro.
We
I
are.
think it's crazy because, like, I mean, we've always had people being homeschooled. We've always had people, doing sports young. Michelle Wheat, '03. 14 in a PGA event, whatever, whatever, whatever. So for him to take that all on his shoulders and really take it the right way, he's got some good parents in his household. They're not steering him into, weird ideologies. Bro is just a kid playing golf that happens to be really good at it. And I think that's really refreshing, one. And two, for him to be 15 with that mature of a statement, talking about next week's goal, trying to make the next cut, one for one.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's scary. And even if
It's
somebody,
scary.
I, you know, 15, what were we doing, Rob? What were we doing at 15? 15,
Um,
year after freshman
in some,
year, I wasn't doing shit.
go
I
ahead.
wasn't even, bro. I wasn't even in. I wasn't even in AAU basketball back then. I was literally just doing summer stuff, riding a bike
Yeah.
still, type shit. No job, nothing. Just waiting on school to start back.
Yeah.
I think you had
I,
started summer league and you were on varsity
I,
and stuff, so you were definitely there.
I did some summer league. I was working part time at Waterburg, dude.
Right, bro.
Um,
Completely
you know,
different
trying to
lives.
trying to get my little hardship license. It was different, right? And I think I don't know. I don't think there's you hear people say, "Oh, get your kids in different sports," and other people that are like, "You need to specialize." I think that comes down to the individual, honestly.
Yeah,
I don't think there's
agreed.
one right way. Clearly he's focused himself on golf and it's paying off. This kind of feels like the kind of bottom of how low we can see a kid go, because at a certain age, right, you're just not able to generate, because he's kind of slight, right? He's not
Yeah,
some muscular kid. It's hard to tell how tall he is, but he's clearly able to keep up from a distance standpoint.
yeah,
But I don't know how you can necessarily get there. At 13, I don't see that happening, right? Maybe
right.
tipping the scales at around 14 or something, but 15 feels like the baseline of where that
Yeah,
can go. But it's still an incredible number, because if this kid keeps up with this path, right, he's making a cut on the Corn Ferry Tour. He keeps getting experience like this. You can see him easily taking the Akshay Bhatia route, where after high school he's going straight pro, right? And then in that
yeah.
quick path where you get status, clearly he's advancing beyond that point pretty quickly.
Agreed.
So I don't know. It's pretty incredible, man. I just think, again, these kids know what they want. They see the game of golf as this pathway that I don't think was available years ago. And heck, if they
Yeah,
can continue to foster these type of personalities, this is what takes golf to the next level, right? We've always struggled with, hey, these people aren't relatable. These are, they're incredible talents. You can see that. But even
agreed.
Tiger was an introvert and still is to this day. And so
Yep.
if you can get some of these guys to kind of tell their stories and become superstars, which I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, as it relates to our TaylorMade story. But this is what can sell golf at a different level than what we see today or what we've seen in the past as well. So
Yeah.
shout out to Miles, for doing his thing, man. Salute to you, young man. I don't know you, but I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Just spoken like a true dad. Keep going. Keep going, son.
um, I don't want to I don't want to be too sad about this one, but I saw this story, and then I started going down the pictures associated with the story, and it just reminded me of a time gone by in the world of golf that I wish somehow we could find our way back to. But Stephanie Sparks, who was a co-host of Big Break for many years, passed away this past week, and um, it just sucks, bro. I mean, at 50,
What?
and it just, again, had to go back looking at the pictures, and it was a time when we were getting into golf and things that I don't know,
Are
just
you
seeing people
serious?
that are still around. Yeah, man, people that are still in and around golf that you've seen and you were introduced to on Big Break, and the pivotal impact that show had. You think about people who are still out here trying to grind. We see Clay, um, as a PGA professional down in Florida. Richie Warinsky is still out here grinding on the PGA tour. A couple guys on the senior tour, but
Yeah,
Stephanie Sparks was somebody who was ingrained in that. Her and Tom Abbott made an incredible team, and
love
really
them.
ushered me into the game. Really ushered me into the game of golf. What do you think about that, man? Just kind of sucks.
Wow, wow. Even even had a stint with playing lessons with the pros, golf with
Yeah,
style. I mean, wow, that sucks,
yeah,
man. That's
really ingrained in the game of golf, and um, you know, as
wow.
they say, fuck cancer. It's just a horrible
It was
disease that I wish
cancer.
that. Yep,
Golly,
yeah. So
golly.
anyway, I just wanted to give her due. Stephanie Sparks, big break. So you go back and watch reruns. Again, I just wish they would
You,
reincarnate that show somehow, but not screw it up and the original origins of it. I feel like they'd go super futuristic and kind of kill the vibe of what made the show in the first place. Because I know those last few seasons,
agree.
when they tried to do spinoffs and they had folks running down the fairway with clubs and doing
Teams,
all kind.
past
Yeah, but
pros. Stop.
yeah. So condolences to the family of Stephanie. um definitely a loss to the golf community, and we'll keep it rolling. So
Amen.
this is kind of a combined story, and I'll hit on we'll circle back, go full circle to our conversation last week with Jason Day, but I wanted to talk about I sent over these new TaylorMade bronze irons earlier in the week to you.
Oh
You
Lord.
pooped on my party. You pooped on my party. I'm gonna pull these bad boys up. So TaylorMade going full retro, and it also kind of speaks to um, second week in a row. I did a clip again from Jock Slade. Also goes by Custu on Instagram and socials, but he also has some thoughts that I want to go over as well. So you see the TaylorMade mini burner. They've dropped this one a few weeks ago. You see the old TaylorMade logo. That one's kind of non-offensive, right? On a wood. But then they dropped the 770s and the 790s. So if you're in the chat, tell me what y'all think of these irons and the kind of retro look that TaylorMade's going for. So I'll kind of a couple other shots. They look, depending on the light, I'm sure these look different, but you're getting that aged look right out of the bat. I'm curious how they look after a few hundred hits. Um, Again, a little bit closer up, kind of the brushed bronze in the 770, which is a beautiful club, and then this the
Yeah.
770 and 790 together. Still not feeling it, huh?
I mean, I'm trying to give it a chance. I mean, I love the 770. I don't
I
know,
know.
man. Just go full on gold, bro. Just go full on gold. Bronze is just
Ugh, ugh, ugh.
I
No,
just
no, no.
when I think of bronze, I think third place, bro. Like I don't think winning. I don't think cool.
Oh Lord.
I think
Okay.
L's.
Fair
That's
point.
just what I
Fair
attribute
point.
it to.
So
But I
Jack
get it.
Slade says so Chuck TaylorMade just dropped this copper vintage collection 770s and 790s, and he loves it, right? But he also has some observations. I like this guy because he thinks about the game as art, and it's a little bit different, and then he kind of marries it up with his love of sneakers and different things.
Yeah.
So kind of goes through this. So he says while new clubs are a bit of a flex in golf, having a vintage set of clubs is also a flex as well. Thinking of it wearing like an original 1985 Air Jordan 1. And he talks about some modern Jordans, but then it's different. And he said, in a few years, these are the TaylorMade copper. Okay, he kind of compares it up again. Hold on. Let me scroll. Can't see your comment. He said it might look fine on wedges, but irons not so much. I get it. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I think it's his next point that got me thinking and relating to this post. He said also, like sneakers, you don't need multiple pairs. However, many of us, in fact, have multiples. And some of us have multiples of multiples. Golfers are in the same boat. If you're a golfer, think about how many golf clubs you got sitting in storage in your garage, sets that you say you're going to do something with. These give golfers an excuse that they would get a new set. And the crazy thing is, when I sent these to you, I think I saw a post where it had the mill grind wedges in the same bronze finish. I was thinking, what if I play the 790s in the classic finish, and I was like, what if I had an alternate set of these clubs? I know what my build out would look like, and then threw the mini birder in the bag. So I agree. Shoes and clubs are definitely parallel. And then, let's see here. Last point. Sorry. And if they said they were a sneaker brand, they would be like Nike. 770 and 790 are basically the Air Force One and Jordan 1. Okay. They fit almost any golfer, and no matter the skill level. So creating a new finished colorway to fit different golf stories is a perfect parallel to the sneaker world. I don't disagree with that. Ultimate sentiment is that the 770s and 790s typically can fit your player or your kind of a game improvement iron in the 790s, even though it still has a pretty classic top line and it's still attractive to look at down by the ball. So what's up? Nope on the irons. But that mini taking me back to my burner and that trash bubble shaft.
So I get what
So you
Josh
still haven't been
is trying to say.
you still hadn't been
Go ahead.
convinced? No, I'm asking.
No, I have not. But I get what he's saying though. Like, I think it's a little bit gluttonous because I feel like it's already hard enough to get in your brain that you need to hit these irons perfectly, and then you want to get another set, let alone, I know it's going to be the same set or in a different colorway, but it just feels like a lot to
It's
me.
different.
I don't want to wear, like, you have your gold 12s, right? I don't want to feel like I have to wear a certain fit to get away with these 770s in bronze. You feel me? So like,
Yeah.
to me, that's what it comes down to. But when he explains it like that, like, I have more openness to the concept. Is what I will say.
It's just that this isn't the finish for you. I get it. It's kind of like when
Yes.
people, like, I would never buy a set of black irons. They look great right out the box, but
But then after you wear and
something
tear
about,
on them and stuff.
yeah, they would have to stay perfect forever, right? I can deal
Right.
with the patina on this type of club, or same thing with my traditional irons.
Yeah.
Little love tap here and there does not bother me, right? It's kind of an argument with head covers for irons, iron covers, is how
Right.
it's like that gives the iron some personality. So I get it. It's not for everybody, but for that vintage look, it gives us an alternative, right? It's the same thing that
Yeah.
somebody out there is loving the blue Mizuno wedges and irons. I hate that. It just looks like a greasy oil can to me, but somebody loves them.
A greasy oil can? That's a bit
Yes,
extreme, my
bro.
boy.
It looks crazy. So
What did you think
anyway,
about the Mizuno irons? The Mizuno Pros 241s, the blades that they had in the that green slash pink azalea. You know what I'm talking about?
oh, I know which one you're talking about. Um, Again, not for me.
Because to me, those were gas. And it's
let me
all on the
let me
back.
see.
Yeah, pull them up.
Mizuno. What were they called?
Just look. You should be able to find Mizuno Pro like Azalea edition or something like that, and you should be able to pop them up because it was even
I
at they
got you.
was even at the Florida Golf Show, at the main one, the PGA show in Florida. I meant my fault.
No, you're good.
But
I got you pulled up. Oh, these are
something like
so over the top, bro. Jesus H Christ.
bro, gas with the matching ferrules, big gas,
Horrible.
big
Oil spill
gas.
irons. No. So, but
Now the fact
that's
that
the
they're
thing,
going for
right?
3,500 now is wild.
Well, this is this is eBay though, so
Oh, okay.
take that with a grain of salt. But hey, that's the thing about golf. Everything is to each his own, right? To a certain degree. And so, yeah, I just wanted to pull those up for everybody who hadn't seen those and kind of get a look. The last part of that slide again was a retreat to what we talked about last week with Jason Day kind of wearing the Malbon, having the Masters officials tell him, "Hey, can you tone it? Can you take that shit off?" And we kind of said ultimately that there's different environments that's kind of allowed and that you could do that certain thing in. And I kind of
Yeah.
equated it to tennis, but I didn't get to finish my metaphor in full. But it's like Wimbledon, you wear the all white. At the US Open, you see a lot of kind of exotic outfits. You used to see Serena Williams in the all black or the kind of the frilly skirt. It's just you see some exotic colors at the US Open for tennis that you're not going to see at Wimbledon. Just to go straight down the line. And I think you compare that to the Masters and any other major that where you can pretty much freestyle it at the other three majors, but there's certain decorum. And so you mentioned Roger Steele at the end of that and said that even when he goes to play different places, he wears different attire. And sure enough, this week he delivered on time. So I saw this post, and this is just him being, I guess, kind of a clip. So the co-founder of Hype Media grew up playing munis in Chicago. His primary playing partner was his father, a low-handicap policeman who would rock bell-bottom pants and a matching Kangol beret. Steele's golf clients presently include Callaway, Topgolf, 5-iron, and more. Golf courses are a lot like restaurants, Steele says. You have different styles for different courses. And this was him kind of getting honored for his being the most stylish or something, content creator in the golf space. So here he goes again.
Yeah.
Different outfits for different spaces, which, I think for the most part, people were pretty much on board with what we were saying. But there was a handful of dissent in the comment section last week saying Jason Day's fine. He can wear what he wants. And one even said he should have popped off at the official. But again, you gotta rock with the environment that you're in. Standards have been set. Just roll with it. But I just found that interesting as a follow up to our conversation from last week. Any
No,
thoughts on
100%.
that?
Yeah. It's actually funny that you brought that up because, like, when I think about it, Roger Steele had like a reel. He just does reel where he get to talking, and he talks about this like pretty much, literally, specifically. He's like, for instance, just like you said, Keaton Park. He was referring to Columbus Park, which is probably the closest public, facilities out there in Chicago, whatever. But then he was like, well, I got invited down the street, to the north side of Chicago to an exclusive private golf club. And, you got to be buzzed in through the gate. And my man said, I took my shirt in so damn fast and I had my nice pants on. It is what it is, bro. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, when you get to a certain stature, you might be able to finesse that. But until then, everybody's going to abide by the rules set forth by this prestigious place that's been in the history of the game for so on and so forth. Hence, Augusta since 1940 or whatever, 1939. You know what I'm saying? Twice the age of Jason Day. So I think just a little bit, and I hate using the word respect because people take it the wrong way, but like just respect the people and the rules that they have set in front of you. Oh, it's not about respect. It's about following my blah blah blah. See, that's where when the arguments get into that stuff, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it, bro. So, anyways, that's my stance on it. Good on Roger Still, but also Kusto, I get what you're saying, like I said last week. So I see it both ways. And again, being black in a lot of these spaces, it's gonna be nothing's gonna be black and white. It's a lot of gray area that needs to be, really deciphered and
I would say
and
explored.
right. Okay.
It's an interesting dynamic, right? I mean,
Truly.
you're in a different space. You're also kind of still kind of breaking down some barriers when it comes to that, right? Hence the comment that I had to address at the beginning of this show, that we
Right.
still have attitudes out there that folks like me and Marcus don't necessarily belong in those spaces. And so, yeah,
Remember
I
when we
mean, it's
went to
still a
TBC Craig
conversation that,
Ranch?
say that again.
TBC Craig Ranch when we went out there to play. We were in the right spot. Nobody treated us any differently, but it was still that overlying question. You good? You need anything? You sure you're in the right spot?
Y'all make a wrong turn somewhere.
Hey, fam, I know my tea time. It's 1:30. Yep, you see it.
Bobby brought up these irons, so I looked them up while you were talking there. Interesting look. I'm gonna pull these up on the screen. We're really nerding out today. I don't know if these are the ones that you're referring to, Bobby, but this is an interesting.
Ooh, I'm in. I'm
Okay.
in.
You like this, but not the other, huh?
Listen, okay, so it's crazy that Bobby, shout out to you, because so one of the techs at Golf Galaxy is did this to a Scottie. He did something
Uh-huh.
similar. So like they got the torch to like get the shaft off, get the head off, and stuff like that, loosen up epoxy and stuff. He
Yeah.
torched his Scottie, and it had this same like little chameleon paint look / like worked look, and I thought it was clean. It was so clean. So it's just the
It's art
bronze.
to me.
Okay.
I know, but that's the thing. That's the thing I love about. There is nothing sexier than a woman than golf clubs sitting in a golf bag. It's just something about them that just I don't know how to explain it. It's just yeah. I love golf. It's so nuts, but nice call out there, Bobby. Anything else you got? Golf world? I have some other random stuff that I want to talk about before we hop off. But anything else from the golf world you want to chat up?
Man, no, I feel like I'm really I know we talk about this from time to time as far as like YouTube golf and stuff like that, but I
Mm-hmm.
have really found like a decent stride with like what I'm looking up and what I need to get figured out personally amongst my stuff, like amongst
From
my
a
game.
trend, from a kind of tips and that kind of stuff.
Yes. So I always go back to my Mark Crossfield vids. David Orr is my favorite putting guru as far as like technique and then mentality and as far as like thinking through putting. But Poor Zach Golf has just he's a younger guy, has really, put me in a headspace where it's like, oh, you know what? You kind of not dumbed it down, but again, everything in golf is verbiage that you can understand. And right now,
Yeah.
he's putting it in words that I can understand. That like things I'm working on, I can understand what he's trying to get me to. I mean, improve on and take away from my swing. So shout out to Porzak Golf. Shout out to the right YouTube creators and content creators because again, there is a lot of stuff that you need to cipher through. But once you do and you get in that right lane, it's a lot of good content that is not just rigmarole. It is a lot of good stuff that you can, listen to and
Use
heed
and
very
apply.
strongly. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm still a Mark Crossfield guy. So I'm on his kind of deliverable. So whenever he drops a video, which seems like every morning
I need
throughout the
that
week,
noti.
do I catch huh?
I said I need that noti still. I love it.
Yeah. I'll I can't watch everything because it may not apply to you or what you need at that time, but he still speaks to me. He was the first YouTube golfer that I found when I was learning to play and in lieu of lessons, the original OG of YouTube. He was back in the day when YouTube wasn't paying people to be on YouTube at all. So
Oh yeah.
shout out to
He's
Mark
got videos from like
Crossfield. But
'07, '07,
yeah,
'08, '09 and stuff.
but like you said, there's so many guys coming out doing virtual lessons, just really good content, and the style of teaching, has changed over the years, right? And that's the thing I think I've
Mhm.
loved about Mark is that he's evolved with the game. But I think concepts of what creates speed and what, the modern swing looks like still evolving, and we're getting different feedback, and people are trying things out in real time. What's effective, what creates the most efficient swing, right? So these things have been
Ugh,
coming along for a while. So uh,
ugh.
Bobby says Mark been an OG for me since 2013. Same for us. That's right, we got into the game around 2012.
Mhm.
And then Rick Shields. So
Listen, Bobby, yeah, I don't know if you know me and Rod, that you'll figure it out, but we not
we don't cut for Rick Shields like that. One, he's
right.
got the I say
That damn accent.
of English accents. I
Ugh,
couldn't do it for a while. I
I
like
can't
English
listen to him.
accents, but he's from like whatever the rough side of England is or something. But um, and now
Scotland, maybe? I don't know.
he's become super YouTubey at this point. Um, a lot of more challenges and the
Yeah.
modern stuff, not really instruction like he used to do. So
Him and Peter Finch. Peter Finch used to be my guy. I can hardly stand Peter Finch. Peter Finch is he go up, he play money games, beat the pro and all kinds of stuff. I got fit for like and it's crazy to me because they ride for a brand and then the next thing you know, hey, I'm over here in TaylorMade land and I'm getting fit for some new irons. Come with me. And it's another 30
yeah,
minute video. And it's all of a sudden, like, bro, you were just caping for peeing like crazy. Now all of a sudden you don't have nothing to do with them.
well, yeah, I
Like
think
that
that's the
the
thing
switch up
about
is crazy
I
to
think
me.
that's the thing about YouTube golf, right? Is that the truth is most of these equipment companies do things well, right? You're not
Yeah.
gonna find just trash clubs out here these days, right? The technology has come so far. R&D, has whether it's people going from company to company, the clubs are just good.
Right.
It's bad
They're pretty much
manufacturers
maxed
don't
out.
really last. Yeah, and so whether you caping for one company or another is kind of silly, right?
Thank you.
I think for us, we're so aware and savvy, just as a consumer base. People know when you're trying to just sell to them, and there's no legitimacy or genuine stuff. You may like a club because
Exactly.
it looks good down by the ball, for different reasons, right? You may like a chunky thick top line because you want confidence, or you may want a player's looking iron. But ultimately, the performance, there's not much in it, right? And so
Right.
that kind of stuff that you mentioned, it doesn't go over well these days because we've seen it. We've seen people jump from manufacturer to manufacturer, right? So the some of those the good boys were loving Tacoma irons, and then 2 weeks later, till they were Callaway staffers, the change up is crazy. And so
I'm telling you, the switch up
um
is crazy.
and that aftermarket stuff is just as good as the big boys these days. You're not going to tell me that a Tacoma, God, there's something one that ends in wood. I'm slipping my brain. It's slipping my mind. Um, Sub 70. All these brands put out quality product.
Yeah,
So if you're cool with direct to consumer and you're comfortable with that model, or you need more support on the back end, cool. Whatever you want is out there for you. But you're not gonna just find some garbage club wherever you go. So
agreed.
anyway, enough of that. Off of golf, one last shout out from me, or just kind of with this crazy sports busy weekend. The NBA playoffs got off to kind of a rip roaring start. Had the play in game earlier in last week. Our Dallas Mavs got mollywopped today. Looked like crap, and I don't know. There's a lot of injuries happening, and I don't. Who do you got this year, bro? Who are you looking for in the playoffs?
I mean, chemistry wise, I think I'm not saying today was a fluke, but I don't think we play that bad again or shoot that bad again. So I think to me, it's going to come down to a matter of matchups, and I don't think OKC is seeing us now with the revamped Mavs. I think
Okay.
it's out of the West. I think it's Denver or Dallas, and then if
Okay.
it's anybody but Boston, Boston literally choked. I don't care what you have to say. Playoff Jimmy G, Milwaukee with Giannis. It don't matter. New York with Julius Randle back. If he makes it back, it doesn't matter, bruh. If
The
it's
East
not
is not.
Boston, it's not nothing. And then even with
No.
Embiid coming back, the chemistry is not there. Maxi is already developed into a star. So you telling me you're gonna take points away from him, take buckets away
No.
from him? You can't. He just had a 50
No.
ball like the game before last of the end of the season. I
I
just
don't. I don't think Boston has the fortitude out of the East, and like you said, they're the only team. Um, I know
yeah,
you
it's the
said you
West.
mentioned OKC. You mentioned OKC, and this is my kind of shot at the moon. I've seen OKC twice in person now.
They're
Both times.
serious.
They're serious, man. They're
They're
young,
serious, but they're
but
young.
that's the only caveat. The
Thank you.
talent and the depth. Their bench is stronger than any bench out there. I
Yeah,
I've watched them put in subs because they were the first string was blowing somebody out twice, and
yeah.
the second group got it just as good as the first. So
And they have a
that's
great
my
coach.
kind of sleeper pick. Yep,
No, I
yep,
agree. And this is in like that, and I don't mean to disrespect anybody because the same in the same caveat that I speak about OKC, I speak about Mini because Mini not serious to me, and we all know Ant Edwards is coming. Bro is here,
yeah,
and he said it, and I agree. There's only like two or three players that I think personally that are going to take him off the throne for in the next 2 to 3 years as best player in the league. And
yeah.
one of them plays for Dallas, and the other one plays for Denver. The only other person close to that is Jason Tatum. Only, and I think he's under Ant already.
Yeah.
And
If yeah, and Anthony Edwards' explosiveness sets him apart from most, right?
right,
So I think the differentiator for him is, because he's getting aerial so often, can he stay healthy, right? All it takes is
very
one
true.
bad, landing, you end
One
up
bad
like Paul
call.
George somewhere. So
Yeah.
that's the only
Hey,
caveat. But I agree with you from a potential standpoint.
but yeah, Mark Dagnall has got them OKC boys together, and the push off king SGA is there. I love Chet.
Whatever.
No, SGA push off, bro. He's just like Paul George. It's like, bro, y'all are too amazing of offensive players and offensive juggernauts to feel like you need to give that extra shoulder, that extra little elbow. You creating separation already, bro. You have
Yeah.
the handle. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of Chet. I love Chet Holmgren. Bro is if it weren't for Wimby, he'd be that unicorn we're talking about. But
This is true.
the things Wimby is doing, we have never seen before. and it's even crazy to be saying that, but like, I mean, I watched a little
Yeah,
rookie of the year, little highlight, and
it's
bro,
different.
it's
He's
different.
different.
It's different. But
I mean, he's outside, he's inside. He's
uh,
when he elevates from like 10 feet away from the basket and just kind of just does that little thing where he drops it in
a
the back.
little nonchalant. I mean, if you want to talk about like, first of all, he got into it with a player on the Clippers and then went on a 17-0 run by himself. First of all,
Yeah, yeah.
pull up, Jimmy. When you sham guiding from the post into a spin, into a high off the glass left finger roll,
But he got to get some pieces around him in San Antonio. It's so bad down there, though.
it's so bad. And I think the best part about it is they realize the greatness of Wemby, because if you look at early season stats or early season highlights, what my dude was doing, they were literally avoiding giving him the ball because they were like, man, he ain't that good. We already in the league. But then you look later on in the season, they try to get him the ball any kind of way possible, in the fast break, on the wing, in the pick and roll, little give and go, any way possible, because he gonna find the right man. He passes well too. Like, it's not like he don't have handles and vision.
Yeah.
Offensively, offensively, he just needs more practice.
Yeah.
Defensively,
Hold
it's
on.
already there. Yeah.
Okay. Got Bobby coming in. Will Bronny play with LeBron?
Bobby, I
Jesus
don't
Christ.
know. Bobby, I don't know.
But I mean, damn, where does Bronny end up? I mean, he declared for the draft, but dude was coming off the bench with USC. I don't
Yeah,
know,
I
man.
think, well, he just literally almost died first. And secondly,
No, okay. Damn, bro, you had to say it like that. Shit.
well, I mean, I think everybody doubted him
I,
in that manner. But I think
I think it was all name. I never saw him as the guy, right? I
he's
know,
not the
Bobby.
guy,
Damn.
but he's not the guy, but he is a NBA like caliber player. And I mean it in this way. I mean it
Okay.
in this way. You know, a lot of the players we see coming from college to the pros now are like offensive juggernauts. Like, prime
Right.
example, Bankero. Bankero, he not no defender, but he can learn
Get you a bucket.
effort and
Yeah.
learn. But he
Yeah.
can get you a bucket. But Bronny got he got the intangibles because he's Bron's son. You know what I'm saying? He passes the ball well. He dribbles the ball well. He thinks the game through. He defends. He does all the little things that the stars don't want to do. So that is
Okay.
my
So
only
does he
justification.
even get drafted? Does he
No,
get drafted or does he get picked up free agency?
I think he gets picked up like Austin Reeves. But we see now how that's working out for Austin Reeves. Not necessarily a bad move. If he even if he
Well,
spins,
yeah, he's now in the booth, but yes, I get what you're saying.
you know what I'm saying.
One more
So
from one more. Go ahead. Finish the thought.
I think Bryce is the better son. If we all know
Oh
that
yeah.
he's already got the size,
He's got it. Oh, he's
he's
got
got
it,
it.
bro. He
I think
moves different. He moves
yeah,
different.
I think Bryce is serious, but I don't want to diminish Bronny
Um
because I think Bronny can do something in the NBA as well.
Zion ever going to stay healthy? Hell no. I think legitimately, man, dude's
No,
just
no, he's
carrying.
not.
He's he's carrying too much body, and the mix of. I think best case scenario is that he evolves his game to Phoenix Charles Barkley,
Yeah,
but Zion
running
going
gun.
up, trying to go at the rim. No, get you some post moves, stay below the rim. It's just he is
Please
too
get a
injury
midi.
prone.
Please get a midi.
Something.
You don't
But
even need a
I
three ball.
mean,
Get a midi and shoot free throws,
dude
please.
dude pulls stomach muscles getting Sonic after the game. Just I can't see it for him. And I don't know if that's getting him out of New Orleans. to a major market that he's been begging to go to for years
True.
and miss out
Yeah.
on whatever max money. You know, he's going to miss out on some money from a contractual standpoint. But if
Yeah.
he gets in a market that he cares about, sees it as an opportunity, I think he's got his family in his ear a little bit too much as well. So they're kind of, you know, causing
Yeah.
some damage there. But
Agreed.
yeah, while he's in New Orleans, no, that man does not stay healthy. So
Agreed. Yeah, he needs to get in the right training facility, right coaches around him, strength and conditioning. You know, just the right people that's gonna let him know, like, hey, we don't mind you being this weight, but we gonna work around it. Or like, I mean, not work around it, but like we're gonna work with it and get it, you know, in optimally the right way. No,
Jeff,
no,
Jeff,
no.
does Ben Simmons get cut this offseason?
They already said they want him, which is unfortunate, but yeah, no, he's fine. He'll be all right in
I,
Brooklyn.
I feel like they've sunk too much money into Ben Simmons to just let the project go.
Agreed.
But Ben Simmons, the way he spends money, I feel like he's got to keep playing. So at some
He's got
point,
to.
he's got to
Yeah.
sign another deal to support his lifestyle, or he's going to be the next one on NBA athletes that went broke 3 years after playing.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is the worst, man. Like he's just somebody who was tall, never loved the game of basketball at all. It was just an opportunity to make money.
Yeah.
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 Jesus
I'm not
Christ.
seeing a lot. I'm not seeing a lot of good things for Ben. I mean, if he could get back to any kind of level of what he was with Philly, just like an elite defender, a distributor, something
Yeah.
you can hide, then he might be all right. But you
What
can't
would you
hide him
call
no
it?
more. They're gonna expose
He's
him.
like he's like C grade Magic Johnson. I mean, I don't
I
know.
mean,
Ben
truly.
Simmons, bro.
Yeah, it's not good looks for him, but he gonna get his money. He gonna stay with Brooklyn next
He
season.
he gonna get a check. All
Yeah,
right, y'all.
that's for
I
sure.
think that's enough basketball talk. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. I mean, it was a good
Hey,
sports weekend.
bro, we just went into the stereotype. We done stuck to basketball, man. Let's get back to
I
football.
know. Look at these boys talking basketball. Look, whatever.
Look at them in their element. God, dog it. God.
We're petty Murphys over here. All right, y'all. Bearded Bros golf show. Back at it again. We'll be hitting it again next week. We'll all kind of see Scottie win this tournament tomorrow morning with his last 3 holes. Domination out here on both tours. We'll be back here next week. I'm Rod.
And I'm Marcus.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.